Were the police lawful during a drug investigation? All right, there's a lot more to that, right? But let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony Bandiero. I'm an attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training, bringing you the Roadside Chat. All right, so this is a little bit of a long fact pattern. There's a lot to it, so this is going to take a little longer than usual, but isn't that why we're here? So that I can dissect your legal issues that you are facing out there every single day so that I can help you get it right every single time. All right, so the scenario comes from an officer in Arizona. Remember, I'm giving my answer based on what I am told. If you're viewing this and you're like, Anthony, I was involved in that and there's something else you don't know or you didn't say, and I think it's important, then I want you to reach out to me, okay? I'll also give you my phone number. If you want to call me and be like, hey, let's talk about this. There's something else about this. Call me, right? Whether you're the one writing me on this or you were part of the investigation. So I'm here to help, not to criticize. All right? All right. We're all here to learn. All right. So this incident involves a divorced parents, okay? Mom does not have custody of the kids, and I don't think that she, according to the fact pattern, she cannot have custody of the kids. Something is going on there. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really matter as far as my answer goes. But dad has custody of her kids, okay? There's a minor and an adult child in play here. The minor child calls up mom and says, Dad has drugs, right? The drugs are out on the counter. Dad is passed out, and I'm afraid. Okay. Mom calls the adult son who is not home yet. I guess he's on his way home or whatever, and says, hey, I need you to check on this. Does your dad have narcotics? The adult son gets home. Dad is passed out, sees the drugs in plain view, takes up pictures of the drugs and the paraphernalia, send it to mom. Mom calls the police. She shares this information with the police. The officers respond. They do a knock and talk. Dad comes out of the home. He's in boxer shorts, and it's kind of cold outside. But they do talk to him, and he denies having any narcotics in the house. The deputies ask the dad, hey, do you want us to come inside the house and can we just talk inside your house since it's cold outside and so forth? And of course, they probably want to see some plain view evidence. I mean, let's not discard that fact, right? The dad does invite them in, and once inside, the deputies start telling them what they know, right? That the son, both the minor and the adult, ratted out the dad, that they're scared that there's drugs in the house, and apparently they're in the bathroom. They cannot see inside the bathroom. That his son sent a picture of the drugs. Dad is still denying any narcotics. Okay? He also refuses consent to search. The deputies then detain the house, right? And detain him in handcuffs. Why? Because there's a sword in plain view. There's a screwdriver. There's weapons of opportunity. Well, there's a weapon, right? A traditional weapon, the sword. And there's also weapons of opportunity in the area. So now they're going to go get a search warrant, okay? They're not going to conduct a warrantless search. So, okay. Now, detectives respond, and the patrol sergeant asks for a warrant to be written for the master bathroom, right, where they think the drugs are, based on the information that they know at the time, based on the picture and the kids and the mom, what the mom said. All right, so, all right, let's see here. Okay, now let's pause the story, right? Oh, also, the photo that they see, the photo of the narcotics, they see that the metadata shows that it was taken within the last 2 hours by the kid's cell phone. So this is all adding up. Number one, the question number, do you think probable cause is established? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Probable cause is a fair probability that a crime is or is about to be committed, right? And they're based on facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonable and prudent officer to believe those facts, right? What do we have here? Do we have, sure, mom and dad are divorced. Certainly there might be some bias by mom against the dad, but mom is not just throwing out claims. She has proof. Also, the kids, right? She's also bringing in the kids with their testimony and so forth, And why would the minor be lying about the dad? I mean, in other words, cops are allowed to presume that these witnesses are being truthful unless there's something conflicting there and there's something else going on, right? And they have the picture and the metadata matches, right? So this is so far so good. I definitely believe that there's probable cause here. The next question, do you agree that freezing the home, right, detaining the home and the suspect to prevent destruction of evidence was lawful? Yes, I do. Now let's talk about the first thing. When police are inside the home, okay, and they have if they're lawfully inside the home and they have probable cause that there is destructible evidence inside the home and they are going to seek a search warrant, they are allowed to freeze it, right? Because of the destructibility of the evidence. That case is Illinois versus McArthur, U.S. Supreme Court, okay? That's essentially what, I mean, it's not the exact same facts here, but the police were lawfully inside a home for a civil standby. The wife ratted out her husband for having narcotics. They locked it down to get the warrant. McArthur was saying, no, you can't stay in my home, and the Supreme Court says, no, that's not how this works. It was reasonable to lock down the home, okay? I guess there was also concerns that the police used a ruse to get into the home. In my opinion, based on these facts, they did not use an unlawful ruse. An unlawful ruse to get into a home is where you tell somebody something that they would be compelled to say yes to, right? So here's some examples. You go to a house and you want to look inside. You want to see if you see some plain view evidence. And you tell them, hey, we have a report that there's a gas leak here and we got to check out your apartment or whatever. That's an unlawful ruse, right? People are going to feel compelled to let the police in to check out the gas leak. Another one was that, hey, we have reports that there's a bomb somewhere in the building. And the cops got consent to enter the home and they saw plain view evidence. Clearly, that's not going to work because you're creating exigency. But here, the cops did not create any kind of coercion here, right? They simply asked them, hey, you're in boxer shorts. Do you want to kind of go inside your house and talk? That he could have said, no, I'm good. Or wait out here. Let me go grab some clothes and I'll come back. He could have said that. So the police trying to consensually get into his home by kind of trying to convince him that it's cold outside is not improper. There's absolutely nothing improper about that. Cops can say stuff like that, even if their intent is to see inside the home, as long as they did not coerce him. Based on these facts, there's no coercion. Okay. Detectives then chose to Mirandize and interview the handcuffed suspect who has been detained for about an hour. Okay. That's fine, right? You Mirandize him. He's in arrest-like custody. The detectives tried to maybe convince him to consent to search the home, but the defendant says no. Okay? So, all right. Are we good? We're going to pause here. Are we good, right? Yes, the detectives can Mirandize him, but here is one problem that I see. It says that this guy's been detained for like an hour. Where is the warrant? Who's getting the warrant here, right? When you're inside a home and you freeze it to go get a warrant, what does that mean you have to go do? Somebody better be working on that warrant, right? Because if we have this dude detained on his couch and we have no diligent effort made to go secure that warrant, we have a problem, right? His rights are implicated here. We're in his home. We froze his home. So that's a concern for me. So I would like to know more about that. I'm not saying that we're going to get things tossed, but that is a problem, okay? Now, the other thing is that, okay, let me just read this real quick. So the last thing I want to talk about is the officer talks about, hey, they were going to seek the search warrant instead of using a warrantless exception. But I got to tell you, based on what I see here, there is no warrantless exception, right? There is no consent. There is no exigency that I can see, right? The evidence is not about to be destroyed or removed. So I don't see how we're even going to get the evidence without a search warrant in this case. So I just want to kind of make that point. Look, if you have more questions, more feedback, if you know something about this case that I missed and you think it changes the answer, let me know. But this is the type of stuff that really, really helps cops get it right every time. Talking about these issues, walking through them step by step. All right? All right. Guys, stay safe. Thank you for your support of the Blue to Gold training programs that we do across the country. Hopefully, I'll see you inside one of the live classes or online. Till next time, my friends, stay safe.